Ah, you have brought more for Goat versus Fish. More to speak to Goat versus Fish. More to speak to Goat versus Fish.
Goat versus Fish.
Yes, it is Goat versus Fish.
How you doing, man?
Ah, very pleasantly, very pleasantly. Yes, high versus, high versus. High versus.
High versus, man.
Yes, Goat versus Fish. You are new to Goat versus Fish.
I am new to Goat versus Fish. I am.
Yes, what have you heard? What have you heard of Goat versus Fish?
What have I heard? I've heard a lot of things about Goat versus Fish. I've heard you just kind of have this, higher sense of knowledge, man. You know shit that other people don't know.
Ah.
So I'm here to get some of that knowledge tonight. So
the knowledge, yes, it comes from within you. Goat versus Fish can say this. Yes, it comes from within you. But Goat versus Fish can help this one.
Okay.
Have you ever asked yourself a question? A question that did seem so very Goat versus Fish that it could only be Goat versus Fish. That was this question that it was asking you. What is this question for you? What is this question for you?
Why are we here?
Why are we here? Well, that is a question. That is a question, but could it be more Goat versus Fish? Could you take that question, yes, and make it even more Goat versus Fish?
Goat versus Fish.
Yes.
Why are we here when Goat versus Fish is also here? Are we really that significant?
Why are we here when Goat versus Fish is also here? Yes, well, you can be as significant as you wish to be, yes? Goat versus Fish will tell you this, yes? That in the beginning there was Goat versus Fish, and there should be goat, and there should be fish.
Okay, so both.
Yes, but you are pondering, yes, but what are you? Yes, what is the question? Yes, what is the question? Yes, there are goat, there are fish, there is only goat and fish, and then this one comes to Goat versus Fish. And what do you wonder of yourself? What do you wonder of yourself now that you know there is only goat and fish?
There's only goat and fish.
Yes. And there is this one.
I think I'm a goat. I have chosen goat.
It is a goat! It is a goat! We celebrate the goat! We celebrate the goat! We celebrate this goat! I goat for this goat! I goat for this goat!
I goat.
The question is, are you goat or are you fish? Yes, but you did answer the question.
I'm a goat.
Yes, you are a goat. There have been many goat this versus. Yes. How does it feel to be a goat?
I don't know. It's just like, it's crazy. Like, it's like you've been something your whole entire life you just didn't know until somebody showed you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like I've been a goat since I've been born. But tonight I realized I'm a goat.
Yes. What are some of the goatly things? What is some of the evidence that this one has always been a goat?
I don't know. I'm not scared to be out on my own. I got a lot of energy. Goats work hard. They make good cheese. I think I do that too.
You make good cheese, I make
good cheese.
Yes.
I make good cheese, man.
Tell us of the makings of this goat. Yes.
Goats are just strong animals, man. They kick hard. They got cool little shiny hooves and shit, I feel like goats just got a little more going on for them than fish. I think fish go with the flow a little too much. Like, I think you need a balance in life, and I think fish just kind of let things happen to them.
They do not even know where they do swim?
Right.
You have seen a fish that was so? Yes. Describe this fish.
You're just letting life take them. The waves of life just taking them, Man, I'm really, really high. What am I talking about?
You are talking about goat and fish and Goat versus Fish.
Goat and fish, man.
Yes. You are speaking to Goat versus Fish.
I am speaking to Goat versus Fish. This is crazy right now.
It is. You call Goat versus Fish crazy. Some have said that Goat versus Fish is crazy.
Nah, I don't think you're crazy. I think this is crazy. I'm talking to Goat versus Fish.
Does it please you? Is it pleasant to you?
Oh, this has been great, man. Like, it's everything that I thought it would be.
Yes, but it is only the beginning for this one. Yes, you have chosen goat. Yes,
I have chosen
and now you can go and you can speak to the other ones. Yes, that have said they are goat, and you can ask them what it means to be a goat, and you can find fish, and you can versus them.
Yeah.
You can do many things. Yes, it's the beginning of Goat versus Fish.
We can build like a goat community.
Yes, a community of goat, and it can be as the goat. Yes, Goat versus Fish is not here to tell you how to be goat, except that you are versus the fish. But you are your own goat. How would the ones communicate with this goat if the ones wish to communicate with this goat?
I don't even think we have to communicate. I think goats can just kind of look at each other, and we know, like, you're a goat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, a goat recognizes a goat.
Yeah.
Though we have heard
Like
that there are
telepathy.
some that do disguise themselves as goat. We have heard this from another goat, yes. But on the Instagram or perhaps the Twitterverse, yes, how would they communicate with this goat?
Oh, on the Instagram, I'm at Niles310. That's at Niles310 on Instagram. And on Twitter, I'm at Niles100. Because on Twitter, I keep it 100. So.
It is keeping it 100 goats. It is 100 goats, but it is a goat. Thank you, goat. Thank you, goat.
Thank you so much, GoatVsFish. I really appreciate it.
Yes, always thanking GoatVsFish. It is a very polite goat. Thank you, goat. Yes.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, goat. You as well. Yes,
All
pleasant
right.
verses to you. Pleasant verses
All right,
to you.
verses to you.
Yeah, this would be a good fun podcast.
Okay.
So come on.
Just one verses. Just one verses. Yes.
Okay.
We shall save these verses and then we shall start another verses. Yes. It is another beginning. It is another beginning of GoatVsFish. Yes, we are at what they call the garage mic. Yes, that is done by this fence sitter. Yes, the fence sitter. You do know that is called the Victor Martinez Jr. They do call that fence sitter. Yes, but now
It's
it is
actually my name.
GoatVsFish.
How do you know my name? It's Victor Martinez Jr.
Oh, that is you. You are called the same as that other one that was speaking to GoatVsFish.
Yes. Crazy.
Ah, yes, perhaps it is so. Perhaps it is so, yes. Well, this is GoatVsFish, yes. In the beginning, there was GoatVsFish, the goatfish. And GoatVsFish said that there should be goat and that there should be fish.
Mm-hmm.
There is no alpha or omega. There is no black or white. There is no good or evil. There is only goat and fish and GoatVsFish. What do you say to GoatVsFish?
I say I don't know what the hell it is.
Ah, you do not know what is GoatVsFish.
I don't know what your idea of a goat is and what your idea of a fish is.
Yes, speak loudly to the ones, yes.
I am not clear as what a goat is or what a fish is.
Ah, well, do you have a question for GoatVsFish? Perhaps GoatVsFish could help to explain goat and fish to this one.
Okay, what is a goat and what is a fish?
Ah, yes, it is a question. It is a question. It is not the question, but it is a question, yes. A goat is a goat, and a fish is a fish. A fish is not a goat, and a goat is not a fish.
Definitely not.
A goat is of the land,
Right.
and a fish is of the...
sea.
Yes, you are beginning to understand GoatVsFish, yes.
Get it.
And a fish, it does have a fin, yes, and the goat does have a... What does the goat have?
Horns.
Yes, the goat has a horn, yes. They could not be more goat and fish, these goat and fish, yes.
Right.
Are you goat or fish?
That's a good freaking question. Because I am of the land, but I do kind of swim. And I do have horns, but I do have a fin. So I'm on the fence of a goat and a fish.
Did you just say you were on the fence of goat and fish?
Yes.
It is a fence sitter. It is a fence sitter.
Fencing, damn it.
You did even say you were on the fence. Yes, sometimes GoatVsFish is saying to the ones they cannot choose between goat and fish. He's saying you are a fence sitter. GoatVsFish has to tell them they sit on the fence, yes.
Damn.
But you have said that you sit on the fence, yes. You say you're on the fence between goat and fish without even GoatVsFish saying it. That sounds like a fence. That sounds like a fence sitter.
Damn it. I'm a fence sitter.
It does not please you to be a fence sitter?
No. I want to know what I am. Am I a goat or am I a fish?
That is the question. That is the question. Yes, but tell the ones who listen, yes?
I'm
What is it like
torn.
to be on the fence? Yes, what is the unpleasantness
I'm
of
torn.
the fence?
I'm torn between goat and fish. Do I swim or do I gallop and do I bang my head on shit? I don't know, but I don't know if I'm a goat or fish. Goat, greatest of all time. Fish, I don't know what acronym that is, but I'm still on the fence.
How long have you been on the fence?
Fucking life, man.
GoatVsFish is feeling the unpleasantness of this one. Yes, is feeling the unpleasantness of this one. GoatVsFish feels sorry for this one. Yes, it is pitiable. 'Tis most pitiable, yes. But now is the time to tell Goat versus Fish. Now that you understand, you sit on the fence, yes. Perhaps if you speak of the fence, it will help you to move on from the fence, yes. What are some of the most fancy fences that you have ever fenced?
I fenced the wire fences, and I fenced the white picket fences, and the stone fences. I've been fencing shit my whole fencing life. It's always a fence.
And what is it like to look at the land and to see the goat frolicking and to look to the sea and you see the fish to swim? Yes, but you are on the fence. Yes, how does it feel to be a fence sitter?
I'm sitting on this fence. My ass hurts. I want to swim. I want to frolic, but I can't because I'm sitting on this fence.
Why do you suppose that you must sit on this fence? Why do you suppose you must sit on the fence?
Because I don't know if I'm a goat or if I'm a fish.
Ah, that would be a fence sitter. That would be a fence sitter, yes. Goat versus Fish thought that perhaps you were simply afraid to choose goat or fish.
I just want to know. I just want some type of characteristics that make you either a goat or a fish.
Ah, you seek other goat and fish. Did you know there are many that have spoken to Goat versus Fish, and they say that they are goat or fish? You could ask these ones. You could say, what is it to be a goat? What is it to be a fish? You do ask them, are you goat or fish? Yes, you ask them if they are goat or fish, and then they can help you to choose, yes? They may help you to choose.
Yes. Who are these ones that you speak of that are either goat or fish?
All the ones are either goat or fish. All the ones. Every one is a goat or a fish. Some have spoken to Goat versus Fish. Some have not spoken to Goat versus Fish. But now that you have spoken to Goat versus Fish, you could ask the ones around you, are you goat or are you fish? And if it is a fish, they can explain what it is to be fish to you, or goat, if it is a goat.
So, Goat versus Fish,
Yes.
Are you a goat or are you a fish?
You would question Goat versus Fish?
I would wonder, yes.
Well, you may ponder if Goat versus Fish is a goat or a fish. But Goat versus Fish is both goat and fish, and neither goat nor fish.
So you're a fence sitter too?
Ah, now you call it a fence sitter. You call Goat versus Fish a fence sitter?
I thought that you would be with me up on the fence, looking at the goats frolic and the fish swimming.
Well, Goat versus Fish, yes, of course, likes to see the frolicking goat and the fish that do swim, yes, but first you question Goat versus Fish, and then you do call Goat versus Fish a fence sitter.
And where do you watch the goat frolic or the fish swim?
It is Goat versus Fish. It is all Goat versus Fish. Yes, Goat versus Fish has seen many verses, yes. Please excuse Goat versus Fish. It is simply that the ones that sit on the fence, they are sometimes very unpleasant to Goat versus Fish. They do not like Goat versus Fish.
You don't bother me, Goat versus Fish. Actually, you give me a different point of view. Thank you kindly. I appreciate it.
And thank you, fence sitter. Yes, when you are ready to speak to Goat versus Fish at Goat versus Fish, on the Instagram, on the Twitterver, yes, but how do they communicate with this one if they wish to speak to this fence sitter to help it to choose?
At WODIGG. Wodig.
Thank you, fence sitter. Thank you for speaking to Goat versus Fish. It is only the beginning of Goat versus Fish for you. It is only the beginning of Goat versus Fish for you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thanking Goat versus Fish. That is pleasant to Goat versus Fish. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Never gonna choose a goat. Never gonna choose a fish. Ah, yes, Producer Lee one. Yes, there is not another one with you. Yes, what has happened? What has happened? Yes.
That's all we got.
Ah, it is the end of the
It is
verses.
in the verses, yes.
Well, there was a fish, there was a fence sitter, and there were many goat. It seems that the goat did triumph this verses. The goat did triumph. The goat did triumph over the fish. What do you say? What do you say? Fence sitter, what do you say that the goat have triumphed over the fish?
I say verses.
It says verses. Yes, to the next verses, to the next
It is verses
yes.
is what it is. And it was recorded.
And it was written, Thank you for joining Goat versus Fish. This has been Goat versus Fish. These are the verses of Goat versus Fish. Subscribe, rate, and review the Goat versus Fish podcast. Yes, on the Instantgram. No, not on the Instantgram. Yes, you do follow GoatVsFish on the Instagram and the Twitterverse, yes, but you do subscribe to GoatVsFish on the iTunes and the YouTube. Yes, the way the ones they communicate with one another. Yes, it is so silly to GoatVsFish, but GoatVsFish is trying to communicate with the ones.
What
yes?
about the Twitcher?
Ah, yes, the Twitch. Yes, the Twitch. Yes, GoatVsFish is there as well. Yes, the GoatVsFish podcast. Yes, you can see all the verses, one verses after another. It is verses, one verses to the next, and it is all GoatVsFish, and it is at GoatVsFish on the Twitch as well. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for joining GoatVsFish, and thank you to the garage mic, yes, of the one that they do call Victor Martinez. Yes, it is a fence sitter. Yes, we do celebrate that fence sitter. Yes, it has welcomed GoatVsFish, and we celebrate anyone that does welcome GoatVsFish. And if you find one who is lost, who does not know the way, stop and ask. Simply ask, are you goat? Or are you fish? Are you goat or fish? Are you goat or fish? These are the verses of GoatVsFish, and I am GoatVsFish. The GoatFish. And it was written, and it was written.
Goat and fish and goat versus fish. Goat and fish and goat versus fish. 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 Goat versus fish.
But GoatVsFish has just pondered that GoatVsFish did say that there was only one fish in that verses? No, there were many fish in that verses. Yes, there was the Kenneth Lyon one. Yes, it started fish. It started fish. It started fish. And then there was the Melissa Joe one, and that one was a fish, and that one was a fish. The goat did triumph. And there were several who sat on the fence. But there was more than one fish. There was more than one fish. And it was written, and it was written.